Hey, Barb, we can't really hear you back here with that, the AC running.
Okay, we'll just try to speak loud.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes? All in favor? Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Committee reports, fire chief.
Okay, he had, 12 overruns from Month Lake, and 9 EMS fire. And he said we're still trying to get the ARP, the American Rescue Plan money for the Community Foundation for the Lucas CPR device. So that's about one of the nicest tools we got on the road. It's really, a lot of actual firemen. And, we're also been going to get some new radios from the communication center, so it's like 6 new radios. And so I think some radio puts up to the other trucks. Other than that, we put our fundraiser we were gonna have on hold until July. Late July. Work some keys out there.
Thank you. Treatment plant operator.
All right, so, did discharge on May the 1st, did testing on the 1st, and on May 2nd, we're to, start discharging, we had a turtle that tried to plug out the system, so we had to free him out of there. Stopped the discharge on the 4th, did that May, and then average was, just shy of 19,000 gallons a day, and then we did release, this time, but it was always the same location, so we got that resolved. Questions? Thank you.
And attorney. No motion.
Sure you guys saw the new graphics on the truck. We got that DG graphics out in Martinsville. They took care of us, so should make the vehicle a little more visible, easier to identify for the public. And then spoke with the owner at the CBD shop regarding that sign, moving it back. Some of the public expressed having some issues seeing out from around that sign, so I think you push that back a little bit. That's all I have.
Okay, new business. We have a couple of things under new business. Can you hear me? Couple of things under new business. Going forward, we're going to change the format in just a little bit. Where we have a section for requests from citizens, we're going to change that to citizen requests on the agenda. So if you have something important you wish to bring up in a meeting, you want to speak to something, or have a complaint, something like that, we're gonna need to call it and put it on the agenda. So you can, call the town office and be put on, it needs to be done the week prior, by the week prior to the meeting. So it all has to be on the agenda the week before the meeting. Does that make sense?
Why'd it change? Yeah, I'm just curious why did that change?
That way we'll know what we're going to talk about at the meeting. That way if somebody has something, I don't know, let me think, very, very important they want to talk about, we'll be ready to listen and know how we feel. And help solve it, hopefully.
It also gives us time to research and address the issues in the appropriate manner.
Also, complaints, we're gonna ask you to bring your complaints in writing. Now, you there's a building that's falling down, a lot that looks bad, and you want it addressed by the board, then we're gonna need that in writing. And that's in lieu of, litigation. If we don't have that in writing and we face something like that, we have no proof.
So if we write it down, we bring it to your attention, but we can still vocalize this publicly within the room, with everybody in the room, right? This isn't something we slide to you on the table and then we just don't talk about it?
No, you can do, you
Okay.
can do that. You can,
Okay.
yes, you can put yourself on the agenda and talk about it.
Okay.
Plus put it in writing, yes. No, we're not asking you to be sneaky. But if you do not want to talk about it, and just want to write it, you can do that as well. Because there are some times, maybe you have a neighbor that's annoying you and you don't want to stand up and you're next to that neighbor and say, you want to write it down, we can look at it and we'll know that there is an issue. Does that make sense? Okay? All right, that being said, we're ready for requests from citizens. Several people have signed up to speak. What I'm going to tell you is, if this is about the goat issue, that will be addressed later in the meeting. So, if there's something else you want to speak about, now's the time.
Barb, later on in the meeting, by all of us still in the presence, in
Yes.
addressing that, or? Okay,
Well, we're going to do an appeals hearing,
okay,
and only the people involved in the appeal will be speaking at that time.
okay,
Following that, if you have something to say very quickly, you may speak.
okay.
Diane Weishart?
Hi, yeah. I've been trying to get the link, and apparently other people have too, from what I was reading today, the link to the ordinances. Now Kevin said he has the link, and I heard that a link was given to the attorneys that are involved in this litigation thing. So I know that a link exists, so why can't you pass it out to all of us so we know what the ordinances are?
We haven't passed that out yet because we're in the process of going through making sure that that's updated. It was, when I was asked at the last meeting, and when I had found that link, that was 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm relatively new to the board. We're trying to make sure that everything on there is up to date and current, and that takes a little time.
How much time are you thinking on it?
I don't know, I will work on it this month.
Well, would you mind if we went ahead and had the old link now, to see
I
what it
don't have
was?
it, I don't have it with me, but I can get it to you.
Please,
I will
thank
find
you.
it.
Okay,
Is there any way, Kevin, is there any way we can put it on the, website, so we can
Yeah.
see it there, a link?
Yeah, with the understanding that it needs to be
It needs to
updated.
change, yeah, for sure, totally understandable.
The town website?
When we put that link out there, we just specify, what is that, Facebook or wherever, that it is ancient information?
Yes.
Okay, so people are clear when they make the.
and also, what website are you talking about?
The town.
Well, a lot of people here have been going through Stylesville chatter.
Okay.
I
is
don't
that
really
where it
know. The town itself doesn't necessarily have a website yet.
is? Well, they do, but it's obviously not been updated or checked on or anything, so that's why I'm wondering what website you're referring to.
I Googled it. That's how I found it, I Googled it. And then, like I said, it was 10 years ago, Diane. So I don't know what, I can't tell you what it was because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
But I can get
I
back to
just wanna
you.
know the website that you're talking about you're gonna put it on.
As far as where to find the link, I can ask who's running the chatter site to put it out.
Okay. Or you
That's
can
the only
just leave
site
a
that I know
message
that's public
yourself,
right now.
probably. Yeah, you can probably leave a message yourself,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can see
put it on the Charlottesville chatter site.
Sure.
Okay.
Can I say one thing? As far as the town ordinance goes and stuff, can't somebody get with you, Polly, and come up and read the town ordinance? Just make an
Yes.
appointment, and then
Anytime.
all that's
Yep.
open, and as far as old minutes and all that, that's all,
That's what we
all
want,
open to the public and
Right.
stuff, right?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that's always been a method. Well, we're kind of trying to update a little bit to
Yeah.
take some of the burden off of her. So I'm getting my feet wet, so you'll have to forgive my
Between
slowness.
catching up and not being there yet, it's just that's something I throw out because I knew that was something
Mhm.
that I have done that in the past.
Okay, I have one more thing. The town, I was speaking with someone earlier on the Facebook chat page, and he says that Stylesville is incorporated, correct? Okay, so does that mean that you go by the Indiana state ordinances or the Hendricks County ordinances? Cause there seemed to be a difference there.
We have our own town ordinances that we follow. Hendricks County takes care of all the zoning issues in town.
Okay,
Does that answer your question?
so the ordinances you have made up yourself or just for Stylesville?
We haven't.
We didn't make them up,
That's-
but past
That's
That you
yours.
have?
the ordinances that we follow.
So someone made them up specifically for Stylesville. It has nothing to do with the state or,
No,
oh, cause I thought maybe I misunderstood. I was reading on the internet and I thought an incorporated town follows the Indiana state ordinances.
A town follows all three, so.
Okay.
A state statute, what we call them, that trumps a town ordinance. So if there's something written in the state statute, that contradicts what's in an ordinance, the state statute would apply.
That's, okay, that's
So
what I was
the
wondering.
state of Indiana by the legislature has actually given towns and other municipalities specific powers.
Correct,
And within those powers is where your town ordinances come from.
okay.
And so unless unless the state has said a town cannot do something, like, for example, an easy one is guns. So a town cannot regulate guns in any way, only the state can do that.
Right,
So
okay.
that's a specific power that the state has control for itself, and does not allow towns to.
So
What
where
about
does,
the county?
yeah, where's the county fit in?
So if the county, for example, the zoning ordinances of the county apply within the town of Stylesville. Other county ordinances may apply if the town doesn't have an ordinance itself.
So they can adopt that ordinance,
It's sort of like that.
okay. Thank you.
But they have to follow the Henry County ordinances if they don't have their own for that
Well,
specific thing?
Not necessarily, it kind of depends on case by case basis what kind of ordinance you're talking about.
Ron Weishart, did you want,
You already answered them.
oh, okay. Zach Hammond?
Yes, just, wanna know what the status was on any of the letters wrote up to individuals about getting some things cleaned up around town. Have those been given out?
We decided we were going to make personal visits to those
Okay.
people first and just assess the situation. We have been told following the meeting that one of the households, perhaps those people weren't able to take care of the yard, and we just want to assess the situation before we go in guns blazing.
Thank you. I think that's really cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
It does, but I mean, also, you gotta understand, everybody's been after Ruby for some time to take care of her land, and she's not able to do it herself either, so,
She is not.
I mean, that kinda contradicts what we're trying to do there. I mean, we've already done it.
Are you talking about the lot?
Yeah, like, everybody's been on Ruby about it, but nobody really assessed, like, hey, well, she really can't take care of it herself, you know, let's assess the situation and come up with a game plan. Instead, it was just put a lien on the property.
Well, the county is involved in that, we don't have anything to do with it.
I just wanna make sure fair is fair, you know?
I did reach out to the family.
Okay.
Do
And
they still own
Yeah, we still own the blue house and the shovel.
it? They do?
I reached out to the family, and her son did come in and make an effort, and he has not been back. I don't know if he got busy, wasn't able to get back, but he and his wife were extremely nice to me and very thankful that they were called, rather than us just turning it over to the county again.
Did you make a visit to the other household? 'Cause there were two households.
That's what I told you, no, we didn't.
Okay,
We're
okay.
going to.
Okay.
We have not gone.
Okay.
Did that answer it?
Yep.
Okay. Jake Hammond, I'm sorry,
That's all right, it's one and the same. I don't know if it'll be discussed later or anything like that. I just wanted to talk about, I know we discussed maybe bringing up how many chickens people are allowed to have and maybe changing that. I didn't know if that'd be brought up later or now, or when would be a good time to talk about that.
We have discussed that, and we have some ideas, but, I just got this petition from Carrie, and these are the people who signed asking for changes. So we knew we were probably gonna get this, and we figured we would table that for the next meeting, since this one's gonna be busy.
Okay.
So you're saying like address the goat issue first and then table the chicken thing for the next meeting? Is that
We're
what
gonna
you're saying
table
there?
it, yes, we're gonna, yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
My next thing is, it's for you really. I know we talked about, maybe looking at some grants for a radar gun for you. If you come up short and there's nothing out there for you to apply for, maybe we could start maybe a donation. I mean, if we had $1 for every time we talked about it, we could have bought you one by now. You know what I mean?
No, I really do appreciate that.
So-
I think that's very generous. I know that the grants are out there, they've been a bit elusive.
Sure,
So that's something I'm still kind of in
Okay.
talks with, trying to figure out, but I do appreciate
that's fine.
that.
If it comes up short,
You know, we thought maybe like a cornhole thing, or maybe like.
A cookout,
Just trying to make
something.
some donations to
Yeah.
help out.
Absolutely, well, I appreciate that.
I think it's very important for not only yourself, if you're the police officer, but later on down the road, you know, anybody else that jumps in that truck, you know, they got the right equipment to do their job.
Absolutely.
That's good.
it's good for me.
Heather Gates?
Hi, me. I just have a few issues. The first one's with 8344 North Hendrick Street. They have a camper that's on the sidewalk, and then they also have a bush that is overgrown, so it makes it hard to turn left onto the road.
Address one more time, I'm sorry.
8344 North Hendrick Street.
I know where it is, I just didn't know what the. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They have the camper on the sidewalk, and then they also have the overgrown bush that makes it impossible to turn left and see the cars coming. And then also at 6226 US 40, that little child Aiden has upgraded his electric bike to gas.
No.
Yes,
With no helmet.
correct. And speeds and doesn't
Can
have
we
stop
talk to
signs.
you about that little boy?
No,
Maybe following the meeting, can we talk to you very quickly?
yeah,
about that?
absolutely.
So he's upgraded it to gas
It's a motorbike.
Yes,
scooter,
motorbike, yeah.
motorbike.
It's pretty quick.
It's pretty nice.
I mean, it does look fun. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a lot of fun. I just-
There's
Nobody wants to see
no
the kid get hurt.
parent supervision with it.
Does anyone know his age?
He's like second grade,
So,
second grade-ish.
I think probably 8.
We are making a change, so you don't have to put this in writing, but next time, if you do have something, voice it, but also put it in writing.
Okay.
We're gonna try that one now, just.
Why don't you just tell me your paper? Okay.
But this time, it's fine.
Alright.
I just wanted to say, I know some of you, I don't know a lot of you. My name, my address, my phone number's been put out there. You feel free to contact me, that's fine. But guys, if you're gonna do that, at least come to the meeting. This is the best turnout I've seen since I've been coming here. And I'm happy to see that, I really am. And I'm happy to see that the people that did come to my house were respectful. Most of the people I talked to on the phone were respectful. But this is what this forum is for. It's what it's for. We don't wanna just come in here and complain. I'm looking for ideas for positive aspects, things that we can do to make this town better. And I understand we do address complaints, but I wanna see a little bit of difference too, where we can, and I need ideas. I've got an open door policy. You might call before you come over. I'm not, I'm pretty busy, but I will get back with you. If I'm available, I'll answer the phone. But if you're gonna put our name and addresses out there as a board, I would kind of appreciate it if you would let us know before you do that, so we can prepare our families. That's basically all I had to say about that.
All right, we have all our requests finished. Everybody signed up that wanted to. Did we leave anybody out? Okay. On to new business. Lawnmower purchase. You guys looked at this. Make a decision.
Kevin and Barb, can we also speak on the part of that lawnmower too? We'd like to talk about that too, when, after you get done doing your thing.
Maybe I wanna sign the bottom of that, I wanna speak for it real quick, I don't know.
Just want to speak on part of the lawnmower thing. I didn't know if that thing had been resolved, but that's,
We will let one person speak on the lawnmower issue.
Here.
Zach?
Go ahead.
Want to?
Alright.
You guys got a bum wrestle for it?
So obviously something changed and Jerry's no longer doing the playground. I was told that the job was posted. Where was this posted at?
No, I don't know who told you it was posted.
Okay, not a member of the board. Okay, so not somebody that would know, so,
No, it was not posted.
okay. So we just gave that job to somebody because what?
We have a maintenance man that takes care of the town, and we're going to have him do it. He's not only mowing this.
Is he a new hire or an old hire or?
He's been here since last year.
Okay.
Sometime last year.
And that's Polly's son, right? We're talking about the same person?
It's Thomas Carter.
Okay. So,
And that job, just so that you know, are you Jeremy?
I am.
Okay. I'm just putting a name to the face. That job was posted, the maintenance job was posted, there was a lack of applicants.
Okay. Where was that posted at? Good.
It was posted at the post office, it was posted on the bulletin board and the door, just like all those notices are posted.
Okay. I did not know they were posted in those spots. I
We-
sent
we
Leah to the
had a
post office,
couple
so I
of-
don't know.
We had a couple of maintenance guys, and it didn't work out for either one of them, and so we knew we had to get someone, and he was the only applicant.
Okay, so we decided we're just gonna buy a X amount of dollar lawnmower and to mow an acre with that.
We're buying a lawnmower to mow the ground and also to mow lift stations, other services.
Okay.
Does this result in an increase in pay to this gentleman,
We're going to increase his hours.
which means he has an increase in pay?
There's also something that's not being said that needs to be considered as well, and that's the insurance aspect of it.
I thought he was covered, I thought the fire guy was covered under the fire station.
It was.
He's,
I talked about it. He would have been, as an associate member of the fire department. That's not what line told me.
Maybe he could have his job back then.
He is in ill health and we actually went and talked with him following the last meeting.
I heard what happened then.
And he was fine. We're giving it up. and our maintenance.
So were we increasing the maintenance man's pay to weekly, monthly, yearly? Is that,
we just added 3 hours to his time.
what's he making an hour? 30, 40?
$25 an hour.
So $75 a week we increased?
Month.
A month.
That's not, that's not.
Okay, so he's making $100 a month.
Well, he'll be getting 13 hours a month. 11 hours.
11 hour, at
During
25 bucks an
mowing
hour.
season.
Is he gonna cover the snow plowing or anything during the,
No, we have someone who does that.
we couldn't find anybody last year, I guess.
Yes, we did.
Finally got Eli talked into it.
Eli.
We had several people put bids in for it.
Okay. $700, I think, maybe. Pretty reasonable, I expect.
I don't know, he can have my push one.
Get a copy of the financials for the town?
I would like to, but I heard they're confidential, or they like,
It can't be,
I
it
didn't think
can't
so.
be.
I'd like to see them.
Here, ma'am, why can't we have a copy of the town's financials? That should be public record. There should be nothing confidential or hidden about it.
It's right here.
It's here at every
It's
meeting.
every meeting is right here. Everything that's done.
You have copies for?
No, it's right here though.
You can
You
look
can
at it
look
prior
at
to
it.
the meeting.
We'd all like copies.
Oh, honey, I'm not making copies. You've got a phone, you want it, you can take a picture, but I'm not making copies.
I thought that was part of
Copies
your
are
job.
expensive too.
Not today, it's not. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I will tell you, I don't know whether this is something I'm supposed to say or not. Because he's mowing, because we're mowing the lift stations as well, part of the money for the mower is gonna come out of the sewer. So it's not all coming out of the town coffers.
Is that mower stored here on site?
It's, I'm sorry?
Is the mower stored here on
It
site,
will
on
be.
in the barn here?
It will be.
Okay.
Are we gonna have an hour meter, reading of it monthly? To make sure it doesn't wander off the property and become part of the, lawn mowing business?
Some people can't be trusted, Jeremy.
Can they?
I'm going to ask, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but please don't just blurt out things in the meeting, please.
Yes.
Okay, we also need a motion to increase the hours for maintenance man.
I'll second it at 3 hours.
Increasing it to 3 hours. Okay, until, when we were in that October? What month? Through October? All in favor? Drainage ditch issue. Well, I think we covered this last month, but I'm not sure. We had a camera run through there. It is stopped up 33 feet in. Brian Stevenson is coming to do the digging and dig it up to see what it looks like and what we need to do to repair it. But he's busy and he has not been able to get here yet, but he promised he'd be here.
Which ditch is, I'm sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry.
which ditch is this you're talking
Oh,
about?
I hope I do this right. At Harrison and 40, there's a catch basin
Yeah,
and it fills up and then it backs up under 40 into the lady's yard.
We scooped it out many times.
Okay, well, that ditch is clogged up. It's supposed to take the water away.
there's two tiles in that,
Mhm.
yeah. One of them flows and one of them doesn't. One of them is actually just supposed to be a backup.
Well, the large one is the one that's clogged up.
Oh, really? The small one didn't.
It may be, but the
It is.
large one definitely is.
Because it's broken in the property south of the, alley.
Okay.
There's a sinkhole in that property.
And then that's from that small one.
That's the small.
Okay. All right, good to know. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to conduct an appeals hearing. I'm going to ask that you be respectful of the people involved in the hearing, that's us and the Smith family, and let us conduct this meeting without interruption. It probably won't take a real long time, we just ask you to be patient. Carrie, Jason, would one of you want to start out by speaking?
We are, we presented everything showing, that her goat has been registered, and first of all, I guess we wanna say is, we would have never intentionally got the goat to be defiant. When we came in 2020, when we received our notice, that you had gotten word that we were thinking about getting a goat, we came to the meeting the following one, and I said, I don't understand, because the young man over here had a goat, and it was stated that's because he was in the fair, or as a 4-H goat. And I said, oh, okay, we'll just get a 4-H goat. And that's where it was left. And so whether it was just miscommunicated, we didn't follow up with that, we should have called you before we got it, but we were just under the impression that a 4-H goat was acceptable. Whitney bought the goat with her money from selling from vegetables, from last year for the goat, for the fair specifically. It will be leaving July 17th, and it will not return. So our intention was not to be deceitful or to be revengeful, like, it wasn't at all that. We just were under the impression that 4-H goats were completely acceptable, and thus we got the goat. Otherwise, we would not have. We would have never been defiant to go against the board intentionally. And so we have spoke with our neighbors because it was said that there was a complaint. I spoke to every neighbor, I spoke to every person, we have spoke to everyone on this side of Stylesville, and not one person has said they've complained. Or they said that they're okay with the goat staying until July 17th. So, someone could have just been like not wanting to fess up to it, for sure. But nonetheless, even if that person has not, they said they were okay with it staying until the fair when it would leave for July 17th. And so that's kind of our prayer, that you'll let her keep it and not have to move it. And I don't know if you want to say anything, but I will tell you, this has not been all bad. Whitney has learned a lot of how to advocate for herself, advocate for agriculture. She spoke with Purdue. She spoke with the FFA officers, Cascade High School, Rock Farms, majority of the people in Stylesville. She has spoke on her own behalf and advocated for her own self. And Jason and I have just said, look, this is important to her, and so it's important to us. And whatever Whitney does, she invests well in, and she is well spoken, and so it's important to us. And we are just hoping that you will allow her to keep it. And then here in the next couple months, if we can alter and change the ordinance, great. And we'll know in the future that we need to present that to you guys before. So I guess we're sorry that we've created this firestorm, because that was not our heart's intent. We just wanted her, she's been in the fair, is her 6 years? 6 years, and she's always wanted to go. I don't still know how you guys found out that she wanted to go. 2 weeks after we bought the property, we got that letter, but she did, and our intent was to get a couple of dairy goats for her to make cheese and milk, and we've honored that, but we were genuinely, with everything inside of us, under the impression that she could have a 4-H goat, and thus we allowed it. So, I don't know if you want to say anything. That's all we have to say.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple of things. First of all, I have to say, Carrie, Whitney, Jason have been extremely kind, extremely respectful through all of this, and extremely decent in the way they've spoken and the things they've posted, and we do appreciate that about her a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Whitney is a very remarkable young lady, and none of this has been directed at her personally or at you personally, Carrie or Jason. But Whitney is very sweet. We were impressed with her when she came and talked with us. So please understand that that has not changed. There were a couple of things. While the Smiths have been extremely kind about this, not everyone has. And I understand there's a lot of emotion and a lot of anger sometimes when things get going. Everyone has a right to their opinion and a right to speak it, and I'm not saying you don't, please don't get me wrong. But sometimes we have to do things as a board that are tough. And I've told a couple of people, any decision we make is gonna make these people happy, and it's gonna make these people unhappy, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter. There's always gonna be people that are happy and people that are not happy. And we're now going to try to find a happy medium somewhere. And we ask you just be patient for that going forward. There were a couple of things. I know that social media is a big thing for a lot of people. And honestly, I'm kind of old for that. Mostly you younger people are the ones that really love social media, and I understand that. It's a way of contacting people, keeping in contact, keeping in touch. There were a couple of things posted though, that maybe fueled the fire just a little bit, that were posted in error. Nobody did it on purpose. Nobody thought they were posting anything wrong, I'm sure of that. One of them was that our ordinance was written and excluded 4-H animals. It isn't. The ordinance does not mention 4-H animals at all. The ordinance states no livestock whatsoever, and it lists every single animal that you can't have. But it does not mention 4-H. Now, that was posted in error, but I'm sure that kind of upset people because they thought we were just picking on this family. We were not. Secondly, it was posted that the board has to vote in an open meeting to enforce an ordinance. And that isn't true either. If we want to change an ordinance, or if we want to make a variation in that ordinance, we have to vote on it in an open meeting. But the ordinance are written for that reason, so that you don't have to have a meeting and vote in order to act on them. In fact, some towns have a code enforcer, and that's all they do. When a complaint comes to the town, they enforce it. They don't even go to the board. So those ordinances are written to be enforced. We don't have to vote to do that. Just so we know that going forward. And I know, again, that was in error. Nobody did it on purpose. Whoever posted it just thought that's the way it was, but it isn't. Carrie came to us in 2020 about the goat. We had closed the meeting, and he came up and talked to us. And we told you that the little boy kept the goat because the board, 2 boards ago, said it's okay. They brought that to the board when they moved to town. They didn't know they couldn't have a goat. They brought it up. But we told you, and I know, perhaps not clear, that the ordinance wasn't changed, and that didn't change it. It was just for that one time.
I don't remember hearing that, but you could have, because I know I was pretty frustrated because I remember even saying, have I done something wrong? Because I feel like you guys are like looking at me like you're gonna kill me. And one of you said, I can't believe you come in the building without a mask. And
Well,
yeah, for sure, I got you. And then you said you should have spoke about this in new business. So yeah, that is true. I genuinely don't remember it being said the board has to vote on it. So, but not here or there, we should have just said, hey guys, we're thinking about getting a goat.
I just wanted to make it clear that we did not tell him that the cow wasn't 4-H. That wasn't said, and we may not have been clear. And that could be.
That's what it was said. Was that what you heard? That's what we both heard. And again, it is what it is.
That's what I was about to say, it is
Yep.
what it is. So now, here we are.
Yep.
So we have discussed this prior to the meeting tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
And, come up with a decision that I hope works for everybody. Kevin, or one of you want to make a motion to
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to suspend all fines. However, the violation of the ordinance is still sustained. The fines will be reinstated if the goat remains after the fair.
It's fair.
Fair enough?
Yes, thank you.
Is that? All in favor? Is that going to work?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Whitney, we wish you luck at the fair, we really do. We hope you come back with that big purple.
Me too, because this goat has caused a lot of heartache.
But please understand, the ordinance stands right now. The ordinance stands as written. We are going to be looking at ordinances, not just this one, but several others, like you said, to update them. So I'm going to ask for your patience, while we do that. We do have a petition, for the time to do that.
And we did not get from Tudor Road all the way on that side, on the south side. And I think it's important that we do, just so the ones, because I know there was one particular woman who's not for it. She doesn't want it to be changed. And I want, just like we want to be heard, I want those that are against it to be heard. I will say that of all the people we asked, not one person said no. Of all the people that are on that, Though, every one of those are people we've asked. Now, I will say, there was an elderly man who was about 94, and he said his family has asked him not to sign anything without them there, and I was like, I appreciate your family loving you well. But we don't mind going there so that we can give you an accurate number of who is for it and who is against it.
I will say, the petition is impressive, but we're gonna make our decision going forward based on what we think is best for the town, but we will consider this, I promise you. We do have other people who have spoken to us who don't wish that to be changed. And, we'll probably bring that up when we address this.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I say one? It's nothing bad.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, I'm positive.
Yeah.
I just want to say that like without 4-H and these young children getting into the FFA and everything and becoming farmers and becoming successful, none of us in this room eat. Without farmers, we starve. So to discourage it, I feel like it's harmful. And I feel like those people who think we live in we don't live in the country, we live in a farm community. We're surrounded by farms, Rock Family Farms being one of them. Huge 4-H'ers, cattle farmers that have been here for generations.
Great people.
And it's just tough. I just hated to see. I'm glad you guys, thank you for doing that. That's huge, you know, it doesn't discourage her at all, you know?
We don't want to discourage.
Yeah, and that was the whole point, the social media post and everything was just it wasn't a stab at anything, but just trying to make it, and you know, the FFA, the 4-H thing available to kids and not be discouraged to move out this way. You know, we want the community to grow. We want it to thrive in the farming community, in the 4-H and the FFA.
I understand that, but there are some real considerations going forward to allow animals in town.
Yeah.
There are some good considerations, and we'll bring those up.
And I understand it gets complicated.
And it does become complicated. And I will say this, I'm sure as I'm sitting here, my sons have taken excellent care of that animal. It's been clean, and it's been, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that for a minute. But I also know that this guy over here could get one and he'd be complete.
No, there's bad apples everywhere you go.
So that's one reason we're being really careful in how we go forward, how we change things, or don't change them, or what changes we do make.
Yeah, it's 100% fair.
We're not trying to be mean to anybody.
No, and I think we've all talked to you, either him or I have all talked to you. If we didn't get a hold of you, you called us back, and everybody was respectful, everybody was open, and we tried to show you guys the same thing. I mean, you guys are part of this town too. You're, you know, not just because you're on the board, you live here, this is your home, you know, and we want to treat you like neighbors, not like enemies.
You were the one who called me, and you were very respectful.
Yes, no problem.
Okay. May I have a motion to pay our claims?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor? Did either one of you have anything to add to this discussion? All right. I knew you would.
I want to put a challenge out to everybody that's here today. If you can make it to the next meeting, I'm gonna set out some pens, some index cards. I would like, between now and then, think up some ideas. I'm looking for positive stuff. I mean, if you want to cuss me out on the card, go ahead. But I'm looking for positive ideas so that we can reach forward and get past the, you know, this part of the aspect of it and move on to the positive. Become a tighter knit community.
Absolutely.
So I put that challenge out to you. We'll have that set up at the next meeting. In a little basket to throw them in or whatever, but be stewing on that because I need ideas.
All right. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.